Hot air balloons are buoyant in the air. The air inside the hot air balloon is hotter and therefore less dense, and it weighs less than the surrounding air, so it floats. But the air pressure inside the balloon is actually higher than it is in the surrounding air. To understand why this is, let's look at what happens in fluids as you go up and down in the fluid. If you go underwater, the deeper you go, the higher the pressure will become. And say you're climbing a mountain. The higher you go, the air pressure becomes less and less. But notice a difference between the air and the water. The pressure changes much faster in the water. If you're underwater and you start rising, the water pressure will decrease much faster than it would if you were in the air and rising. Likewise, if you're coming down from a mountain, the air pressure will increase slowly, whereas if you're diving underwater, the water pressure will increase quickly. So the more dense the fluid is, the faster the change in pressure, and the less dense the fluid is, the slower the change in pressure. Now let's go back to our hot air balloon. The hot air balloon is open at the bottom. At this opening, the air pressure just inside and just outside the balloon is equalized. But let's look at what happens as you go up throughout the inside of the balloon. The air pressure will decrease because as you go up, the air pressure decreases. Outside the balloon, the same thing happens. However, outside the balloon, the air is colder and more dense, so the air pressure decreases faster outside the balloon, and it decreases slower inside the balloon. Which means that as you go up throughout the balloon, the difference in pressure between the inside and the outside continues to increase. Even though the absolute pressure at the top of the balloon is less than at the opening at the bottom, the air pressure outside at that elevation is lower than inside the balloon. This pressure differential pushes on all sides of the balloon, which gives it a firm structure and provides the actual force which pushes up on the balloon.